Okay, awesome. Thank you so much again for tuning in to Macros Made Easy. I'm super excited about this. I feel like this is a topic that can be so confusing, and it really doesn't have to be. So that's why I kept hearing the same thing over and over about how when I would ask you guys if you had tried macros before, a lot of people would be, we've got some people coming in late. Hold on just a second. A lot of people would be, I've heard of it, but it just seems so intimidating and so confusing. And, I tried it, but I just couldn't understand it. And so I wanted to make it a lot simpler. So let me share my screen with you guys. Okay. So welcome to Macros Made Easy, where we're going to take the overwhelm and confusion out of this, hopefully once and for all, because it really doesn't have to be as complicated as we make it. And so for those of you that are new to me, that you're new here, you haven't heard of me, haven't really had a conversation with me yet, my name is Rachel King. I am a certified nutrition coach, and I'm so excited that you're here. I just feel like nutrition, we make it harder than it has to be. A lot of things in life we make harder than they have to be, right? But it's not our fault, and we're going to get into that a little bit later. We've been really confused by social media, diet culture, what have you. So not your fault. So a little bit about me. I am a woman of faith, wife, boy mom. I have the cutest little 3-year-old who, like I said, is napping. And I'm a certified nutrition coach. And I actually have maintained a personal 45-pound weight loss. And my goal truly is to empower everybody to find their confidence and fulfill their greater purpose. And this is why I do what I do, is to provide the nutrition and mindset education needed, because it's not just about having the nutrition education, right? If your mindset is not really there, it's just going to be another one of those diets that you do and you don't see results yet again, right? It's just going to be the same thing over and over, that yo-yo thing where you kind of go into it half-hearted and, you have a setback and you're like, it's just not meant for me to lose weight. I'm just destined to be overweight. And so your mindset's got to be there, and we're going to have hard days. That's just part of it, right? It's not going to be, a bed of roses. And I've really understood that expression because roses have thorns, but it's not going to be a bed of roses the whole way. It's not going to be unicorns and rainbows. You're going to have setbacks. And that's where this mindset piece comes in. And that's my passion. My passion is to empower you guys to have the nutrition and the mindset education you need so you can pass it on to your family, right? Because that's such a huge piece, is empowering our families along the way as well. Okay, so let's get started with Macros Made Easy. So can you guys still see the presentation? I hope you can. Put it in the chat if you can still see the presentation. Okay, awesome. Okay, so yay, okay, great. All right, so I want to take a moment right now and ask that, well, I hope you're taking notes, so I hope you have a pen and paper, but I want to take a moment and ask you right now to write out your weight loss goal over the next 6 to 12 months. What impact would that make on your life? Write down however much it is you want to lose. Or if you don't have a weight loss goal, if you just want to change your physique, like that's perfect too. Like right now, I'm working toward not losing weight. I'm working toward maintaining weight and building muscle, right? Some of us have weight loss goals. I've had that in the past. I told you guys I lost 45 pounds. So whatever that number is, whether it's to lose a certain amount of weight, whether it's to lose inches, whether it's to fit in a pair of jeans, whether it's to build muscle and kind of do some body recomposition, whatever that is, what impact would that make on your life? What would be different for you if you could achieve this goal? I have no doubt that everyone in attendance today can reach their goal because I've done it. And I've seen my clients do it too. It requires a relearning of everything you think you know about dieting and weight loss. It isn't about deprivation. It isn't about restriction. Show of hands in the comments. Who here has tried those methods and ended up throwing in the towel and ultimately feeling defeated? Maybe feeling, not worthy or not capable. Anybody open to share that you felt like that, doing these restrictive deprivation diets? Yeah, you're not alone. I did it. I went back and forth. I would even say things like, oh my gosh, I ate so good yesterday. Why did I gain weight? I'm just destined to be fat. You know how negative that is? And we say these things in front of our kids too, right? And we say these things in front of our husbands, right? And I didn't really mean to get off on this tangent, but we say those things in front of our husbands. We're kind of discounting them a little bit. They chose us, right? They love us as we are, right? And then we start talking negatively about ourselves. Like, how would you like it if your husband did that, about himself? You'd be like, well, I think you're special. I chose you, so we say these things and we talk down to ourselves. And we say these things in front of our families, and it's just a spiral effect, right? And it just kind of sets the tone and we can't just stop eating, right? We have to continue to eat to live. And when we live in this deprivation, this restrictive mindset where, mom can never go out and have anything to eat. Mom can't have that. We use all these negative words. It really sets such a negative tone. And so that's why this piece is so, so important. What I'm going to teach you today requires a mindset shift. And it requires you to trust your body and to do what God designed it to do. So food is not good or bad. It simply is. It's just food. It's just fuel that we use to give our bodies enough energy to get through the day. How we feel is directly linked to what we eat and our mood. Anybody get hangry, right? What we eat is directly tied to our mood, our energy level. If you're restricting your diet, you're not giving yourself carbs, like a lot of us have cut carbs in the past, you're probably walking around sluggish, tired, you've got some brain fog going on. What we eat is directly tied to symptoms we experience, medical conditions. All of it is directly tied to the fuel we put into our bodies. Food can transform your health in just a few weeks. Seriously. Food contains the calories that we need to go to work, go to school, play sports, provide for our loved ones, to enjoy our hobbies. It really doesn't have to be any more complicated than that. It really doesn't. So most people are confused about food, which is completely understandable, right? We've been told so many conflicting things. Should you eat meat, vegetables, and fruit and totally ditch all grains and dairy? Should you eat fruits and vegetables and forget about meat? Should you eat low carb or low fat? What about nutrition labels and calorie counting? What about foods that claim to be heart healthy or claim to be diet foods? All the fad diets out there, which one is the right one? It's so hard to make sense of it all. So if you've been confused in the past, or if you're still confused right now, you have every reason to be. Please do not feel dumb or that it is your fault that you can't seem to grasp what healthy really looks like when it comes to food. The food industry makes trillions. Yes, I said trillions of dollars by keeping you stuck and keeping you guessing. It's great for their pocketbook, but bad for the individuals consuming it. So when you begin to focus on health overall, healing from the inside out, weight loss begins to just happen naturally. It's a key component to being healthy. When you begin to fuel your body with the goal of getting healthy, not getting skinny, chronic symptoms and diseases begin to diminish or reverse themselves. Did you know that type 2 diabetes can be reversed? Things like asthma, headaches, heart disease, diabetes, brain fog, insomnia, acid reflux, IBS, skin issues, and in my case, hypertension they begin to go away. I came off of my blood pressure medication when I lost weight, and it's been gone for years. I have not had to go back on it. Most of these chronic conditions, these chronic issues are caused by imbalances in some area, and we address the imbalance of nutrients when we focus on tracking macronutrients rather than calories, right? Just checking the chat here. Okay. So now we're going to talk about macros. Most of us have heard the term macro at some point or other. I actually coach most clients to track their macros. This is the approach I take to food. I still track macros from time to time. I don't track it all the time. I don't track every single day, but it's great. It's a great tool to use when you need to make sure you're still in line, right? This term is brought up a lot, tracking macros, counting macros, especially when the topic is about eating healthy or losing weight. Macros are short for macronutrients. Your body needs these nutrients in larger amounts in order to function properly, as the word macro means large, needs them in large amounts. All of these nutrients provide your body with energy measured in the form of calories. So calories are energy. So when you're living that restrictive lifestyle and restricting calories, you're restricting energy from yourself. Now, there are 3 types of macronutrients: carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. And all of these macronutrients have specific roles in your body that allow your body to function properly. Now, let's talk about carbs. Probably my favorite macronutrient. So, carbohydrates, carbs for short. All carbohydrates are eventually broken down into glucose, which is the main energy source for your body. So if you want my opinion on cutting carbs, don't. The only cutting of carbs you should do is with a knife or fork. Specific organs, such as your brain, need glucose in order to function properly. That's why when you cut carbs, you get mega brain fog. Carbs get a bad rap. I know this, but this is why it's dangerous to eliminate certain things altogether. And I know it can be confusing, and there's a lot of science behind it. I say this in my free group all the time. I'm going to get kind of sciencey here, but I want to break it down and make it simple for you. And to help with this, it's important to understand that carbohydrates are not all created equal. Some are considered simple carbohydrates, and others are complex carbohydrates. So simple carbohydrates are easy for your body to break down for energy or glucose. They have 1 to 2 sugar molecules, and they're found in items that are usually sweet, such as honey, table sugar, syrup, agave nectar, molasses, things like that. Complex carbohydrates take more time for your body to break down, and these are the ones that you really want to focus on. They're found in foods such as starches and grains, rice, pasta, bread, and starchy vegetables, potatoes, peas, and corn. Other plant-based foods such as non-starchy vegetables, beans, nuts, and seeds, they contain carbohydrates but in lower amounts. Complex carbs normally contain fiber, which is fantastic for your body. And side note, most of us don't get enough of. That's why we need to be eating these complex carbs to get the fiber we need. So most of them contain the fiber unless they've been processed or where the grain has been stripped of its outer coating. And this process is what gives us things like white bread, white pasta, white rice. These type of carbs become easier for your body to digest. And even though they're not sweet, they will release glucose quickly, just like a sweet, simple carbohydrate. So we say processed foods, a lot of them come from this process where the fiber has been stripped, and that makes them processed. So that's why we typically say stay away from, the white bread, the white rice, the white pasta, because it has been processed and it doesn't contain the fiber that your body needs. So, okay. sorry guys, I can't see the chat, so I'm having to check it randomly to make sure there are no questions. Please feel free to drop your questions in the chat if you have them as we go along throughout this webinar. Okay, so the next macronutrient is protein. And this one is one that a lot of people struggle with for whatever reason, not getting enough protein. Protein is super important. Oh, we've got somebody in the waiting room. Hang on just 1 second. Okay. All right, protein is super, super important. This allows your body to grow, build, and repair tissue and protect your muscle mass. So protein is composed of amino acids, and amino acids are the building blocks of protein. So there are two types of amino acids, non-essential and essential. Now, non-essential amino acids are not required to be consumed through the diet, as your body can actually make these. So you don't have to make sure you get these in food. Now, essential amino acids are required through your diet. You need to be consuming these things through food or supplements or something like that. So essential amino acids can either be used on their own, or in some cases, they're transformed into a non-essential amino acid. Protein-rich foods include things like meat, poultry, fish, egg, milk, cheese, or other types of animal byproduct foods. And these protein sources contain all of your essential amino acids. So you don't have to worry if you're eating these things, in the right amounts, right? Then you're getting the essential amino acids that you need from the protein. However, if you don't like meat, you don't like animal products, this does not mean that you have to eat animal foods to be healthy. I actually don't eat meat. So I cut it out a few years ago when I was doing my own experiment with my body because I was having some severe stomach issues. So I did an elimination diet and cut meat out. I still eat it occasionally, but we just don't eat a lot of it. So you don't have to eat animal foods to get what you need. You can get the proper amino acids from eating a variety of plant foods, such as beans, lentils, nuts, and seeds, as well as lower amounts in grains, vegetables, and fruits. So if any of you, don't eat animal protein, that's totally okay. You can get what you need. Just make sure you're getting the wide variety of the plant foods in order to get what you need. So now we're going to talk about fat. Don't be afraid of fat. Fat doesn't make you fat. Fat allows you to store energy. It cushions your organs. It makes certain hormones, helps you to absorb fat-soluble vitamins, and helps with cell membrane integrity. I actually had a client the other day that found out she was deficient in B12, and she had no idea she was supposed to be taking these vitamins with a source of fat because she needed that to be able to absorb the vitamins. So that's just a side note. If you guys are taking vitamins, certain vitamins, not all of them, but if you're taking certain vitamins, some of them you have to, pair with certain foods, or your body's actually not absorbing the vitamin you're taking. And you're kind of just flushing that money down the toilet because your body's not absorbing what you're taking. So that's why I get kind of frustrated when doctors, suggest vitamins or things like that, but then don't tell you to pair it with something else. I didn't mean to get off on that tangent, but that's just a bonus for this training. So there are three types of fat: trans fat, saturated fat, and unsaturated fat. Now, trans fat should be cut out of your everyday diet. These can be found in margarine, shortening, baked goods, doughs, fried foods, like all the things our grandmothers like to cook with, basically. Those should be cut out of your everyday diet. If you see trans fat on the label, it should be avoided if possible. Now, saturated fat is known to increase cholesterol levels and can increase your risk for heart disease, so it should be consumed on a moderate basis. And it's found mostly in animal sources with high fat contents like fatty beef, lamb, pork, poultry with the skin, lard, cream, butter, full fat cheese, dairy, all of those things. So if you can decrease the saturated fat intake and lean more toward healthy fats, known as the unsaturated fats, which we're going to talk about next, that is definitely ideal. Now, these unsaturated fats, these are the ones you need. These are the ones you need to focus on. And they're known as the healthy fats, and they can actually decrease your risk for heart disease. So these healthy fats originate from plant sources like avocados, nut butters. I'm a huge peanut butter and almond butter fan here. So I have my share every day. I won't tell you guys how much, but don't shy away from the healthy fats. Seeds, olives, olive oil, things like that. They can also be found in animal sources like fatty fish, including salmon, mackerel, sardines, tuna. We love salmon. We still do eat fish occasionally, and that's one of our favorites. Fat gets a bad reputation because it's the highest in calories. And of course, certain types of fat are not good for us. But if you focus on the type of fat that's good for you, the type of fat and the amount of fat, it's instrumental to a healthy diet. You need it for brain function. You need it to be able to for your brain to function properly, for your heart to function properly, to cushion your organs. It's so important, you guys. So please don't buy into the lie. I actually have a podcast episode on this that I will, if you message me after this is over, that talks all about fat and how important it is and how it doesn't make you fat and why it's so needed. And the low fat craze in the 90s. Oh my gosh. I remember my parents buying so much low fat. And really, when you take the fat out, you're just putting sugar in. So don't do that. Don't buy the low fat stuff. If you're going to buy cheese or, yogurt or whatever it is, cottage cheese, whatever it is, buy the full fat version. Look at the ingredients. The ingredients on the full fat version, there's maybe 4 or 5. The low fat, non-fat version, there's a ton of stuff in there you don't need. So like I said, I have a podcast episode on that and goes all into fat and why you need it and why it doesn't make you fat. And I'm happy to share that if you're interested in listening to that. Now, there is no one size fits all approach, right? We're going to get into that too. So we're talking about macronutrients. The recommended amount of these different macronutrients is usually referred to as a macronutrient split. And there is no one size fits all approach. I cannot give you a number that's going to fit each and every one of you on this call. I can't give you, the percentages that you need to, you need to eat, 50% carbs and 30% protein and 20% fat. I can throw those out, but, Tracy may be good with those, but Stacy may not. Her body may not, be optimal with those percentages. So it's different for every person. There's no one size fits all approach, and each individual may thrive at different percentages. So, for example, me, I am mostly plant-based. So I'm going to need a higher amount of carbs than someone who eats animal products because most plant-based proteins are heavier in carbs. Beans, quinoa, lentils, those things are heavier in carbs, but they are protein sources. But I need my percentage of carbs to be higher. Someone who lives a sedentary lifestyle, sits at a desk all day, goes home, sits on the couch, doesn't really get a lot of movement in, maybe does a 30-minute exercise, kind of moderate exercise, but mostly sedentary, they're not going to need as many carbs as someone who's lifting heavy to build muscle, right? Because their bodies do not require as much fuel. Now, if you're going to the gym and you're lifting crazy weights, or you're, training for a marathon, you're going to need more carbs because your body's going to need that fuel, right? At the end of the day, making sure your calories are appropriate is always where you need to start. Always where you need to start. So many of us don't eat enough. I joke all the time, but it's actually a true statement that my toddler eats more food than some women. And that it's probably true. It's a funny thing to say, but it's probably true. 1,200 calories is not enough food to survive on. It's really not. I'm fairly certain my 3-year-old eats that or more in a day. And, somewhere along the line, we expected women to live off of 1,200 calories and take care of families and clean the house and work a full-time job and grocery shop, and the list goes on and on, right? And that's just not sustainable. When your calorie intake is too low, you may not get all the nutrients your body needs. We just spent, the past 30 minutes talking about all of these nutrients that your body needs in large amounts. And your body's natural response to a decrease in food can lead to your body's metabolism slowing down so that your body can conserve energy. So when you restrict and restrict and restrict, your metabolism slows down and your body's hanging on to everything you give it because it doesn't know when it's going to get adequate fuel again, right? And please comment in the chat if you can relate to this. Like when you have been good for so long and you go out and have a treat and you weigh and you're like, oh my gosh, I gained 5 pounds. I can't have anything. I can never eat anything. Do you want to know why that is? Comment if that's happened to you. But do you want to know why that is? It's because you've restricted your body so much that your body is like in hibernation mode where it's hanging on to everything you give it, right? And it doesn't know when it's going to get adequate fuel again. And so when you finally feed it enough, it hangs on and it packs it in because like, oh, she finally fed me. I better hang on to this because I don't know when this is going to happen again. Doesn't that make so much sense? Makes so much sense, right? And that's because your metabolism is in the toilet. And I can say that because I've been there. I did that. I got down to where I was eating 1,000 calories a day. And if I ever splurged for a birthday or anything like that, if I ever had treats or, a meal that wasn't my normal good food, I'd gain like 5 pounds overnight. That's not true. That's not true weight, but still you do that kind of this yo-yo thing where you're just stuck, right? Because your body's hanging on. It's like, oh, she finally fed me enough food. I don't have to be starving anymore, but I better hang on to it because I don't know when she's going to do that again. Our bodies kind of go into like this, I need to hang on to everything so I have enough to do the essential functions, right? Like to keep brains going, hearts going. And if you notice, if you get in like a super restrictive, like I'm praying none of you are there, but if you are, I am not judging you because I've been here too. If you get into like this super restrictive where you're at the 1,000, 1,200 calorie mark consistently, your hair may start to thin, your nails may become brittle because your body doesn't have enough energy for those non-essential functions. It's literally trying to keep your organs going. You have to give yourself enough food. You just have to. And your body will respond. I promise. I promise it will. Okay. Got off on a tangent there, but I feel like that's so important to talk about. All right. So food is tricky, right? We just talked about this. Honestly, this is where most of my clients are when we began working together. They've been restricting food for so long and jumping from diet to diet, not eating enough food to fuel their body, that their metabolism is tanked. And that's why it's so important to make sure you're eating the appropriate amount. Some healthy foods come with plenty of calories. On the other hand, some foods with low or no calories are actually unhealthy for you. Like a lot of diet food out there that's 0 calorie, awful for you. Check the ingredients. It's terrible for you. You shouldn't be putting that stuff in your body. That's another reason why learning about the different macronutrients and how to fuel your body properly is more important than simply focusing on calories themselves. It all correlates together. And learning to prioritize your foods and the right portions for your body will set you up for success and improve your overall lifestyle. Make sure that you're getting the right amount of calories and each macronutrient. And if you get the right amount of each macronutrient, your calories will line up as well. But please make sure you're getting enough to function properly and to just be healthy. Just be healthy. I want to share with you a client success story. This is one of my favorite success stories because Lisa wasn't looking to lose weight. She had been on a super restrictive lifestyle. Like she was eating very healthy, like checking ingredients, like very, very healthy. But she kept going to the doctor and her doctor was like, you're skinny fat, you're losing muscle, you're losing muscle. It's because she wasn't eating enough, and she wasn't eating enough protein. She was eating a lot of like almonds and hummus and peanut butter, which is great, but a very fat heavy diet, which is what, keto teaches you to do, right? She wasn't trying to do keto, but she was very fat heavy on her diet. It was all very healthy food, but not enough of it and not enough protein. And she was losing muscle mass. And so I actually did something called a reverse diet with her, which is very scary for her because I more than doubled her calories. And when she and I stopped working together, she was eating over 1,700 calories a day. She didn't gain any weight, not a single pound. And she started building muscle again. And she sent pictures, before and after pictures. And like, you could not believe the difference. Like, it didn't look like the same person. There was no weight change, whatsoever. The scale was the same, but she was finally fueling her body enough to where it responded. She was taking care of it from the inside out. She was feeding it what it needed, and her body responded. And that's such a fantastic thing. Learning to view food for what it does for you and not just how it tastes. Although that's important too. I don't want you to eat bland chicken and broccoli forever. Right? Nobody wants to do that. But that's so important. It's about how it makes you feel. Food is meant to give you energy and to fuel you for all the things you enjoy. Playing sports, going for hikes, going shopping, going to amusement parks, spending time with family and friends, keeping up with your kids, right? It's also meant to give you optimal brain function so you can excel in school and beyond in your career. And when you become wives, parents, aunts, colleagues, mentors, whatever the case may be, it's a mindset shift, but one that will serve you for life. One that will serve you for life. And you don't have to do it alone. Like I said at the beginning of this workshop, this is how I work with most of my clients to restore their metabolism, push through weight loss plateaus. And there are some of you that will want to do this on your own. And I totally respect that. I did that for a long time. I did it on my own for a lot of years. And you don't have to do this alone. You don't have to. If any of this resonated with you today and you'd like to learn more, I invite you to schedule a discovery call and see if it's a good fit for us to work together inside my group nutrition coaching program. More importantly, though, I'd love to help you get clarity on what's holding you back from trusting your body to work for you and not against you. I want you to think about what you truly want. Why does losing weight matter to you? Why does getting off this diet hamster wheel matter? What will be different for you if you could finally lose the weight and go out to eat without stressing over every calorie? If you could finally learn how to eat in a way that fits around your unique lifestyle. Remember, you have to do the work. There is no quick fix, no magic pill, or end-all diet. But when you do it God's way, lasting change begins to come. Now, I would love to share with you all more about my 6-month group coaching program. So if this is, if you've gotten what you need from today, then, you are more than happy to hop off, but I would love if you would stick around and learn about this. This is a no pressure thing, but I would love to share with you because I am so excited about this. It's a 6-month group coaching program called Feel Wonderful in Your Skin. I am teaming up with my good friend and fellow Christian weight loss coach, Amanda Kelder, to create a weight loss process with proven results. Weekly targeted group coaching calls and a community of Christian women walking beside you through it all. Inside this program, we're going to cover a lot of things. We're going to talk about developing a new way of thinking and establishing a growth mindset. overcoming strongholds, the victim mentality, breaking bad habits, developing self-confidence, and ending the shame and guilt, stress-related eating, emotional eating. I've been there, right? We're going to talk about how to overcome that and turn it over to Jesus, right? Ending the professional dieting, been there too. Informing that healthy relationship with food, setting yourself up for success, environment, view of self, behavior, setting realistic goals and not just those determined by weight, getting closer to God through our health and including Him in the process, meal planning and prepping with ease and no overwhelm, the quality of the food you eat, macronutrients. We're going to do an even bigger dive into macros, calorie ranges, food labels, eating out, recipes, grocery shopping, incorporating fitness and how to do both, pair your macros with your workouts, nutrition for your kids. That's such a huge passion of mine. Kid-friendly recipes, and so much more. So much more. This is my friend Amanda. She's going to be the one helping me. We're going to be tag teaming this, so it's kind of like a 2-for-1. So excited. I'm so excited, you guys. This program is going to be a judgment-free zone where you're surrounded by a community of women providing a safe space for you to share and be authentic, to let your guard down and to not have to do this alone any longer. And this group will challenge you in so many ways, stretch you, get you out of your comfort zone. But it will also support you, root for you, cheer you on like no other. What would be different for you to experience that? What would that feel like? How wonderful would that be for you to have a container of women that are praying for you, guiding you, providing the accountability you've been seeking, giving you that community that you've been craving? We're not meant to do this life alone, and it's okay to ask for support. In fact, it's necessary. We cannot continue to pour from an empty cup. We have to stop and refill it in order to spill out blessings to those around us, right? What would it be like for you to lose 10, 15, 20 pounds over the next 6 months? To lose inches like my client Paula and be able to fit into your favorite jeans again? To lose the bloat and have more energy like my client Samantha, who honestly didn't know what it felt like to feel good? The investment in this program is $550 per month for 6 months. And if you sign up before midnight Friday night, you will also receive a bonus private coaching call with me that you can use anytime during the program to give you customized support. As much as I would love to help everyone, this program is honestly not right for everyone. It's not. I wish it were, but it's not. But if you're willing to be stretched, to be challenged, if you're willing to question your beliefs about food and weight loss, if you're willing to do the work, if you're willing to give up on giving up on yourself, if you're willing to get uncomfortable, then this program is for you. Amanda and I want to work with the ladies who are tired of self-sabotaging themselves, who want to grow their self-confidence, to have the belief in themselves that this time it is going to be different. This program is for the women of faith that want to walk alongside God on this journey, to make Him the center of their weight loss journey, to finally allow Him into this area. God has placed those desires on your heart for a reason. You do have what it takes inside you, but sometimes you just need someone to come alongside you that has walked the road ahead of you and give you the tools to uncover it. A question I get a lot is, what if my husband's not on board with this? Well, how do you know unless you have a conversation with him? Talk with him, understand his concerns. But you know what's true about a lot of husbands? They don't want to see us unhappy. They don't want to see us hurting. We're the one they get to do life with every single day. They want us to be happy. And yes, they will often object at first out of fear. So do we, right? We can share our fears with them as well. And you can also tell them how this webinar has helped you see things much more clearly and how you know this program will be the thing that's going to change your life in so many ways. It will heal your relationship with food, jumpstart your weight loss, improve your self-confidence, help you grow closer to God, give you tools to shift your mindset around more than just food, but life. Give you more energy so you can go out and fulfill your greater purpose and be an even better wife, mom, sister, aunt, coworker, child of the King. Talk to your husband and tell him how things were different for you and can be different for you. Pray with him about it. Do this and you will both come to the most perfect decision, the one that's right for you. Just trust God and make this decision from a place of trust and true faith, right? Another thing that I hear a lot is about money. And I want you to know I totally get it. I truly do. We want to be good stewards of money. And I've said this so many times when it comes to finances. And I've really had my own thinking about this challenge. But I want to give you an invitation to step back and truly open your eyes and look at what being a good steward really means. Is it continuing to spend money on junk food that does not serve your temple well? Is it continuing to put your health on the back burner and then spending thousands of dollars in medical bills down the road? Is it a gym membership or an at-home treadmill that continues to go unused, like you just continue to pile clothes on top of it, right? Or is being a good steward making an investment in your health to tackle the nitty-gritty details? The why behind your emotional eating and your mindset around food? Growing in your faith and growing closer to God, which in turn spills over to your family and their relationship with God because they see it in you. Setting a good example for your kids when it comes to overall health and teaching them it's okay to ask for help. Is that being a good steward? How you take care of yourself is how you take care of others. And when we love who God created us to be, we can love others in an even deeper way. You matter. You matter. So, are you ready to say yes to God's leading? Are you ready to not be distracted by constant thoughts around food? Are you ready to implement the things we learned today? Not just be another webinar you attend and then throw it out the window. Are you ready to feel wonderful in your own skin? Are you ready to be the absolute best version of yourself? And stop the pattern of giving up on yourself once and for all. What is that worth to you? The co-creator of this program, my friend Amanda, she says this all the time. God cannot bless the actions you don't take. And that's so true. So if this speaks to you and you feel drawn to this, if you feel a desire on your heart to explore what it would look like to get healthy the right way, incorporating biblical principles along the way and growing in your walk with Christ while getting stronger physically and mentally as well, then I invite you to schedule a discovery call with me and let's see if this program is a good fit. It's a no pressure call. This call is to help you truly get clarity on what's right for you. I have chatted with so many of you, and you've shared with me the things that you truly want. You desire motivation, consistency, discipline, self-control, more energy. Remember, if your health is important to you, then it's important to God. He has his hand stretched forth. He's just waiting for you to take it. So, if this resonated with you, if you're ready, then we are starting the 6 months in September, and I am so excited. I'm so excited. I'm more excited about this program than I've ever been about anything I've ever done. And you guys have to meet Amanda. She's amazing. We're tag teaming. I am more on the nutrition. Yes, I am part mindset too, but she is like, will blow your mind with the mindset. So Amanda is amazing. I focus more on the nutrition. So you're getting both. You're getting both. All right, I'm going to take just a second and stop sharing my screen and catch up on the chat because I haven't been able to see it since I started. Okay. Oh, thank you so much, Jen. That's so nice. Yes, Amanda has a way of shifting your perspective and making goals attainable. She is awesome. If you guys have any questions about the program, you are free to message me. If you have any questions about anything we talked about concerning macros and anything concerning how to make them easier for you, feel free to message me. I am going to drop some links in the chat. I'm going to drop the link to the program in the chat, and then I'm also going to drop a link to book a call. And I'm going to put my email address in the chat as well, so you can ask me any questions that you need. All right. But if there are no questions in the chat, then I think we are good to wrap up today. And all of you registered, obviously, so you're going to have a replay sent to you in your email. So you can rewatch. If you need to take notes, go back and, you missed some things you didn't get to jot down, you'll have that in your email as well. Like I said, if you're willing and ready to take it to the next step and not just let this be one more thing that you came to and then you don't think about it anymore, let's schedule a call. It won't hurt to chat. It's a no pressure call. I care about all of you so much. Like I said, this is my passion to instill and encourage and motivate and give you the knowledge you need to stop going through the yo-yo cycle and to truly take care of your health once and for all. So thank you so much, ladies. And if you have not joined the free Facebook group, I encourage you to do that too. You can find that if you are, I'm going to drop my Instagram handle. You can find that in the link in my bio on Instagram. And I will see you guys soon. Bye.